Behind this mask, Victor, I'm going to try to do it with the mask on. I hope you can hear me. I hope it's clear after this opening day the priorities we bring to this hearing. And here is one of them. This is a young boy in Tinley Park, Illinois, who because of the Affordable Care Act is alive today. So many other stories just like that. This isn't just a sterile discussion of some theoretical legal document. It's life and death for thousands, if not millions of Americans. We believe the Affordable Care Act is hanging in the balance on this decision of filling this vacancy on the Supreme Court. We're going to drive that issue home, though our colleagues on the other side may want to talk about judicial philosophy. Very interesting. But this is demanding. We demand that all those who participate in this hearing understand the gravity of the decision when it comes to real life situations of American families. Sheldon.
Thank you, Dick. Our Republican colleagues are shocked that we think this nomination is all about judicially destroying the Affordable Care Act for people like Laura here from North Smithfield, Rhode Island. The only problem with their feigned shock is that they're the ones who said that that's what they're doing. It's in the Republican Party platform to, and I'm quoting here, reverse the Obamacare cases. Trump has said he's using his nominations to terminate the Affordable Care Act. So I think it's pretty fair of us to hold them to account for what they have said this nomination is all about. And the American people are watching. They know this unseemly rush is inappropriate. They know it's targeting November 10th, and they know that it is wrong. We turn it over now to Amy Coney Barrett.
I know, I love it. Thanks so much, Sheldon. Thanks, everyone. I mentioned these two when I was in the hearing room, but this are two sisters from Cambridge, Minnesota, Mariah and Evelyn, and they both play on the softball team. And one is a pitcher and one is a catcher. One was diagnosed early on with juvenile diabetes, and one wasn't. And so my point here is, doesn't matter which one was diagnosed, don't they both deserve good health care? That's what really is at stake. And despite my colleagues' comments from the other side of the aisle about how somehow this judge's decisions are in some ivory tower and they're not going to affect people's lives, they're going to affect people's lives. They're going to affect the lives of every single person in this country. And you don't have to be a lawyer or a senator to figure out where this nominee is coming from when it comes to the Affordable Care Act. We know where she's coming from, and the president knows it too. And he has made it very clear in his tweets and his statements that he wants a court that's going to overturn Obamacare, and that he wants a court that is going to, in his words, count the ballots. And he thinks this election is somehow going to end up in court. So my point today is you cannot divorce this nominee from the moment we're in time. And that we do not have some secret, clever, procedural way to stop this sham. Let's be honest. And as good as we are, it's probably not going to be some brilliant cross-examination that is going to change the trajectory of this nomination. But there is one thing that will, and that is the people of this country. That is them voting. That is them understanding exactly what the Republican Party and this administration are doing right now and how it's going to affect their lives. Because this is not Donald Trump's country. This is your country, America's country. And this should not be Donald Trump's judge. It should be your judge. And I will turn it over to my good friend, Chris Coon.
Thank you, Senator Klobuchar. Why are we here? It is a mystery with an easy answer, an answer that is hiding in plain sight. It's because the Affordable Care Act is on the ballot and on the docket. I represent just 900,000 people in Little Delaware, and 340,000 of us have pre-existing conditions. Carrie from Middletown is just one of them. A small business owner, she and her daughter both have pre-existing conditions. And before the Affordable Care Act, she would have found it very difficult to afford quality health care to make possible her ongoing confidence that she and her daughter have access to decent health care. When we talked about this last week, she said to me, "Seriously? That's at risk? I thought that was settled." It was. 8 years ago, a majority of the Supreme Court upheld the constitutionality of the Affordable Care Act. But President Trump has made it blindingly clear, publicly and repeatedly, that he only intended to nominate someone who would overturn the Affordable Care Act. That will throw into chaos the lives of millions of Americans. In some ways, most importantly, given that we are talking about filling the seat made vacant by Justice Ginsburg's untimely passing, a key provision of the Affordable Care Act prohibits gender discrimination. Women cannot be charged more for health care just because they're women. Pregnancy cannot be treated as a pre-existing condition. And Justice Ginsburg dedicated her life to gender equity. Sometimes folks in covering the ACA mistakenly say it benefits 10 million or 20 million or 30 million Americans. It benefits a majority of all Americans, those with pre-existing conditions and those whose pre-existing condition is being female. We should not turn away from a focus on protecting the health care of a majority of Americans in the middle of a pandemic. So much more than that is at stake in this confirmation, which we will lay out in the next 2 days, but this is the most pressing and most important thing in the middle of a pandemic. Let me now turn it over to my friend and colleague, Senator Blumenthal of Connecticut.
Thanks, Senator Coon. They say they have the votes. They say they have the votes. They may have the votes on this committee. They don't have the American people on their side, their votes. They don't have history on their side. Connor Kern is on the right side of history. Every time I look at this picture, it just breaks my heart to remember all of the pins and needles that have been stuck in this young man, all the procedures, all the pain and anguish. At the very least, the anguish of paying for it should not be imposed on Connor and his family. This hearing is going to be about real people and the harm that Justice Amy Coney Barrett could do to those real people in real ways if she is confirmed and she overturns the Affordable Care Act. Twice, she has said that she would vote to overturn the Affordable Care Act had she been a justice in the 2 previous decisions. She's written that Supreme Court precedent can be disregarded if it conflicts with how individual justices' positions are aligned. This danger is real and urgent. But there are 2 other healthcare issues on the line here. Reproductive rights is a healthcare issue. Women's control over their bodies and their decisions about healthcare is a right of women under Roe v. Wade, which is in danger because of specific letters and ads that Amy Coney Barrett has signed. And we're going to be asking about it. Gun violence is a health care issue. The epidemic and scourge of gun violence continues to kill tens of thousands of Americans. And Amy Coney Barrett's position on disregarding past precedent on gun violence provisions endangers laws like Connecticut, common sense provisions that protect people against gun violence. They may win in this committee. They may confirm this justice. But the American people can still stop it if they stand up and they speak out. Americans, you have the power to stop this nomination. if you make it known as powerfully as possible to your senators that what it means to you. Thank you, and I'm honored to now turn it over to my colleague, Senator Hirono.